Hey everyone, and welcome to a wonderful episode of the Duck Zone. We are deep into the Olympics now, and we're going to be basically we're going to be mostly talking Olympics in this episode, mostly zeroing in on basketball. A lot of fun action today. James, what were your biggest takeaways? What did you think?
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty dominant game for Team USA. Super balanced. It's fun watching this team because no one seems to be letting their ego get in the way. Everyone's kind of distributing the ball. You see that especially with the starting lineup with LeBron, Booker, Embiid, Curry, guys like that. Then you have your guys like Tatum and Edwards coming off the bench providing the scoring, Kevin Durant as well. But overall, this team, that was a pretty dominant performance. I will say that.
Yeah, this was the most dominant performance I thought so far in the tournament. After the first quarter, there was no question they were going to win and they were going to run away with it. This team is just loaded outside of its mind. Um, it's going to be interesting. They get a matchup now with Serbia in the next matchup. Um, Jokic obviously being the star of that team. How do you think? Do you think it's going to be kind of a rerun of earlier in the tournament, or do you think Serbia actually has a shot?
I think we see another, maybe not a Brazil performance, but let me say this. I think we see a Brazil performance in terms of uh, how the team plays as a whole when it comes to Serbia just being just a better team than Brazil. The score is not going to be, the differential won't be that insane. Jokic will keep them in it, but I don't have any reason to think this Team USA team can't win by 10, 15.
Yeah, I think they're gonna probably beat them by about 20. I think the reasoning behind that is, I mean, they just played a very difficult game against Australia. They had a 23-point comeback, went to overtime. Jokic nearly had a triple double, had to pull out all the tricks to pull out this win. I think they're going to be exhausted. Team USA, as we just said, just kind of breezed through Brazil. Everyone got their rest in, everyone got their shots in. They look, it's kind of unfair in the aspect of you go first line and then that second line comes in and everyone's rested and everyone's fine and it's still an all-star team. I mean, when Kevin
Yeah,
Durant,
it's really crazy when you have like,
I mean, when you got like Durant
it's
and
just
like
crazy how,
Durant and like
yeah, it's
Davis just
stupid.
rolling off, it's just like, oh, it's just it's loaded. Um, which I actually kind of want to talk about the other side of the bracket really quick. France beat Canada and then Germany beat Greece. We were talking right before starting this. France Germany is very intriguing, to me at least. What do you think?
Yeah, that's going to be a fun team. Or fun game. Germany, I think, held its own, if I remember right, in the exhibition game with Team USA. They're a really good team. They have the Wagner brothers, Dennis Schroeder. I don't have the roster up, but I'm sure some other NBA guys. But they're really good. And obviously, France being the host nation, they're not going to want to lose. So that should be, you know, a heavyweight duel, which if the USA, like you said, can handle Serbia, with Serbia being tired against Australia, that's only really going to help Team USA with France and Germany duking it out.
Yeah,
But I like France. I think the home team gets it done.
I think so too. I think France edges out Germany. I think it's going to be the game of the tournament when we kind of all walk away from it, um, which will produce a wonderful France versus USA final if that does happen, um, which I think will be a great matchup. The USA being very much the villains going into hostile environments, you know, this could be the Victor Wembanyama coming out story of, oh, this guy is going to be the next star of the NBA. Um, could be some fun storylines. And France is loaded with NBA talent across the board.
Yeah, they today's game was interesting because Wembenyama didn't really have that great of a game offensively. I didn't watch it, so I'm sure he was up to his typical antics. I'm sure he deflected or blocked a bunch of shots, altered shots. But I know Fournier has been kind of the scoring guy. Gobert, at least when I was kind of flipping through, I was going between the USA women's soccer game and that France game, and they had mentioned that Gobert had taken his warm ups off, but hadn't gotten to the game. So I'd have to look at the stats and see if he even played. But
We didn't do much at all.
yeah, France is deep. France is deep when you can have Gobert not play and Wemby not have that offensive, good of an offensive game and still get to the next round.
And I mean, beat a Canada team that, in my opinion, um, is the best team that's no longer in this tournament. I mean, it's a good Canada team.
People were saying that Canada USA was going to be the final, and that was like, just book it now. And
Yeah, it could have happened. I mean, it would not have been surprised if it was a Canada USA final because it just was a very tough draw where what Canada drew in the first round of this tournament. I mean, I think they face. They probably would have beaten Germany, in my opinion. They would have given up a good fight against Serbia and Australia. It's just a tough draw that what they landed with. Um, and Canada overall, if you look at the box score, I took a look at it before. A lot of their big guys just had bad games. Murray really didn't have much to show. Dylan Brooks had a horrible game. And SGA, I think, shot 3 for 13 or something like that. It was a bad shooting performance across the board for Canada. So, which also speaks to the French's defense, which is going to be interesting if that is the championship matchup. It is one of the few teams that you look defensively and you're like, yeah, this team is good defensively. This is a good NBA defensive team.
yeah, that should be. I mean, I think that's what everyone's kind of rooting for right now. Is everyone wants to see Wembenyama versus LeBron, the host nation versus Team USA. But like we said, Germany France is going to be tough, and I believe Germany dominated France in group play. They won. I know they won by 10 plus, but they looked good. So don't count out the Germans because they're coming for blood.
It'll be fun on Thursday. So moving forward, I know you've been watching the soccer side. USA women got the win over Germany in the semifinals. What did you take away from that? I know it was an extra time, but how do you feel going into the finals? And I believe that is on Saturday.
Yeah, they'll be taking on Brazil, which, one thing of note, Brazil upset Spain today. Everyone thought Spain women coming off that World Cup victory, was that just last year? I think so.
That was last year, yeah.
People kind of had, was it last year?
Yeah.
So people thought it was going to be USA Spain, but the Brazilians and Marta, who's got to be, oh my God, 36, 37, maybe even 38. I don't know. She's on the team as one of the over 23s, but Brazil looked really good today. They won 4-2. So the U.S. should, I would think we can still win. The thing I like about this U.S. team is that they've gone with a kind of youth movement. The big name being Alex Morgan not being on the team. And I know we've mentioned Emma Hayes before, the British coach that we brought over just this past June. She's done an amazing job. I mean, she's 8-1-0, maybe 9-1-0 after today's win, with that one being a draw. But she seems very into this U.S. team and letting them kind of figure things out on their own. But the big note and the big takeaway I will say is this team is getting, they're having fun. You can see the joy on their faces, and the big three up top, the trident that they're calling it, of Mallory Swanson, Sophia Smith, and Trinity Rodman. I mean, that's the best upfront attacking trio I think in the world. And one of those girls seems to bail out Team USA every single game. I mean, this is the second time we've gone to extra time and scored a goal to win it. And Yeah, this is a fun team, and I think that they're going to bring home the gold on Saturday.
Yeah, I agree. From what I've seen, bits and pieces, I believe they're gonna take home the gold as well. It'd be surprising. It's good to see them medal, obviously, but I feel like anything less than the gold at this point is going to be kind of disappointing.
Yeah, the midfield play's been great. The defense has been absolutely outstanding. And I don't know if you watched the game today, but we scored a goal, and there was maybe a minute or two left in the game. And Nair, the goalie for USA, made a crazy like starfish save, which basically kept the game from going into penalties. So everyone seems to be clicking on all cylinders. So hopefully that goes into Saturday.
Yeah. And then one more thing before we sign off: the women's basketball team, they start their bracket tomorrow. Do we have any concern of them not getting gold at this point?
I don't think so. They play Nigeria tomorrow. That should be a win. I'd have to look at the rest of the bracket, but if you want to take that tournament approach one game at a time, we'll kind of look towards just tomorrow. And I don't think there's any reason that Team USA women don't win by 20 plus over Nigeria.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I see. I think it will be very surprising if they even win by less than double digits the rest of the way. I feel like this is going to be, I don't want to say a cakewalk, but it should be pretty easy road to the gold. And if they don't get gold, man, that's going to be the storylines of no Caitlin Clark will be heard for years. So I think they'll take home.
One last thing I'd like to point out,
Yeah.
kind of my fun track and field gold medal of the tournament was I watched the men's 1500 today, and there was a Norwegian runner. Can't think of the name of him off the top of my head. NBC did a whole, story about him. He comes from the Norwegian Kardashian family. He's a big celebrity apparently. He won gold in the 1500 last Olympics. They're sucking this guy off, to be frank. Just he's the greatest thing. He doesn't medal. An American Cole Hawker stunned everyone and won gold. So I thought that was pretty cool. And America
Which
went
one?
gold and bronze. So
I feel like America's
yeah,
been doing very well in the track and field this go around. So,
yeah,
then,
yeah. Well,
and
and you could even mention, Noah Lyles.
yep,
That was he won by his chest, by it was like his clavicle was
it was the closest photo
far from
finish. That was, how bad do you? I get 1, 2, 3, but like it was a four-person photo finish. I don't know who finished in fourth, but like imagine being the guy that finished in fourth in that race and literally missing by like a bunch of all three medals.
Oh yeah,
This is
yeah,
brutal.
that would that would suck. And Noah Lyles, I will say, at least he talked the talk and then he walked the walk. He was talking himself up left and right. The guy he's a showman for sure, and he got it done.
You got it done. So just a few more days left in these Olympics. It's been a fun ride. James, anything else you want to say before we sign off here?
Not really. Just again, continued support for Team USA, and we'll hopefully next week have a little bit of a wrap up for the Olympics, and then
Yep.
yeah, start going from there. I know you've mentioned
Yeah.
before that football season's right around the corner, so we'll have plenty to talk about.
Yeah, football's right around the corner, and I feel good that the USA is going to win not only the medal count. I think they're going to win the gold count. It's beginning to look like that's probably going to happen. So, guys, until next week, thank you for all the support, and subscribe down below. I'll see y'all later.